Okay, our first topic will be about responsibility accounting. Okay? So, yun yung unang naibigay ko, 'di ba? On the canvas. And then for HBL, home-based learning, yun din yung first part, yung responsibility accounting, that will be the unit 1. Unfortunately, hindi pa na ipapadala yung mga HBL materials due to um, constraints, no, such as yung mga boundary limitations. So that's responsibility accounting. Yung unit 1 natin will include responsibility accounting, transfer pricing, and balance scorecard, but we will just focus on topics that are very comprehensive, complicated to understand, and the rest of those topics na part ng unit 1, pwede na siyang mabasa nyo na lang, no? So so self reading na lang. Okay, so what is responsibility accounting? Again, it is the system that recognizes various decision centers throughout an organization and traces cost. And these costs, no, also includes the revenues, assets, and liabilities were pertinent by areas of responsibility. So, ibig sabihin, yung responsibility accounting, um, this is this is being used lang to evaluate performance of different responsibility centers. Okay, later on we will discuss the four responsibility centers that are subject for performance evaluation. This system is also known as an activity accounting and profitability accounting. It operates on the premise that managers should be held responsible for their performance, the activities of their subordinates, and all activities within their responsibility center. Yun yung po yung premise ng responsibility accounting, that we are expecting that managers of different responsibility centers are performing well, and then they are responsible sa performance ng bawat subordinates nila and all activities, okay, na ginagawa on each responsibility center. Okay, what are the different responsibility center? Okay, number 1, we have the cost center. The cost center, where managers are held responsible for the cost incurred by the segment or the responsibility center. Ibig sabihin, itong center na to or itong segment na to, yung in charge manager is responsible of any cost incurred in the realization or ano pa, sabihin natin, activities, okay, of the particular center. Okay, then we have the revenue center. Here, managers are held responsible primarily for the revenues of the segment. They are in charge what are the income or revenues that were received by the particular center, but not the cost of generating revenues. Kasi the cost will be, yung responsible nun is yung cost center manager. The manager performance is measured in terms of the revenues earned. Okay, if the revenue is high, it means the revenue center manager is quite performing well. Okay, no? So, some of the basis includes the return on investment, the profit margin, the ROA, or the return on assets, or among others. Okay? So, kung if we're going to evaluate the performance of the revenue center manager, some of the basis of this are the computation on your return on investment, the profit margin, the return on assets, and other related um, computations, kasi yung iba dito na ituro na sa FS analysis. If if you have already encountered that subject, the financial management, no? Yung mga computation or ratios related to returns or income. So those will be the basis of evaluating whether or not the revenue center manager is performing well as to managing the revenue of the segment. The next, okay, another is the profit center. Iba po yung revenue sa profit center kasi the revenue yung gross yon. the profit is the net, where managers are held responsible for both the cost and the revenue of the segment. Because tama nga naman that this profit center manager is thinking about the revenue and the cost attached to that, so that it can able to determine whether there is a profit or a loss on the particular segment. So, ang dapat niyang bantayan, okay, at dapat niyang pangalagaan are the revenues and the cost. Okay, if the manager wanted to have a gross or a net income, he needs to make sure that the profit, I mean the revenue, is higher than the cost. Okay? Or under the profit center manager, if he wanted that the profit will be maintained, he must maintain the cost and keep on increasing the revenue. So that is the profit center manager. Okay? Or the profit center. Then we have the investment center naman, where managers are held responsible for three, okay, items: the revenue, the cost, and the investment on that particular segment. The investment center is why he needs to check the revenue and the cost. Remember, once an investor, no, if you, kung sabihin natin you are an investment center manager at the same time, okay, an investor, or sabihin natin you are in the foot of an investor, no, you don't just, invest, but you also check whether the costs are maintained and there are revenues incoming or na flow sa business or sa segment. Kaya yung investment center manager is responsible of checking always the investment is secured in a way that the costs are maintained and the revenue are keep on increasing. Okay? Those are the responsibility centers. Okay? No, in responsibility accounting, there were 4. Again, these are the, balikan natin, no? These were the cost center, the revenue center, the profit center, and the investment center. Ngayon, okay, no, because we are talking about evaluation of performance, yung una po nating topic for today is the performance evaluation tool number 1. Okay, and evaluating the performance of a particular manager, no, particularly the revenue center, okay, manager, or the profit center manager, or the investment center manager. Bakit ito pong tatlo ang target ng performance evaluation tool natin? Because these 3 centers are responsible to revenues. Pare-pareho silang responsible to revenues. Okay, di ba? The revenue center is responsible for revenues of the segment. The profit center is responsible for both revenue and cost. O, nandun pa rin si revenue. And then, also, yung, yung si investment center, nandun rin si revenue and cost, pero isinama si investment. So, what is our first performance evaluation tool na i-discuss for today? The first, no, is the return on investments, the ROI. So, you have already encountered this on your financial management. What is an ROI? So, I don't need to discuss deeper what ROI means. Instead, I will discuss or I will illustrate how it is being computed in order for you to recap or to refresh what ROI is all about. Okay? Okay, there are 2 ways to compute the ROI. The first is operating income over operating assets. Okay, no? So, hopefully, nare-recall nyo na, no, that return on investments is computed by dividing operating income over the operating asset. Another way to compute that is using the DuPont formula, wherein that is the operating profit margin multiplied by the operating asset turnover. Kung titignan mo yung operating profit margin, parang that's the return on sales. while the operating asset turnover, that is the ROA, the return on assets. Okay? So, yon. Okay, so how are we going to apply this? Okay, hindi lang naman dapat i-compute, kundi because this is a performance evaluation, the numeric figures that we can able to compute from this formula is worthless if we cannot provide analysis or interpretation. So later on, we will have a short interpretation provided that I prepared a basic pa na example. Okay? So, again, this will be the focus of our topic for today, the performance evaluation tool number 1. Okay? Sample problem. Okay. So, hopefully, hinahawakan nyo yung mga calculators nyo ngayon so that you can able to, okay, makasabay naman kayo sa pag-compute ko later on. Okay? Or magsulat naman kayo dyan. Lala Company on its income statement shows an operating profit margin of 30% and the assets of the company is 350. The total sales amounted to 200,000. Compute for the return on investments. So, the operating profit margin is given. The total assets in peso figure is also provided in the problem and the total sales amount is also provided in the problem. Ngayon, paano po natin ito makukompute? Again, there are two ways, no? I already provided it in the preceding slide. So, on the first solution that I prepared, okay, this is my solution number 1. Okay, using the first formula wherein return on operating income over the operating assets. Tatanungin nyo ako ngayon, Sir, how can we compute the operating income? How can we use such formula considering that the operating income in peso amount is not provided in the problem? So, obviously, hanapin natin. Paano po natin mahanap yon? Okay. To expound this, ito yung formula natin. The return on investment will be 30% of the 200,000 sales over the operating assets of 350,000. So you are going to ask me, why 30% multiplied by 200,000? Take note, the operating profit margin is computed by dividing the operating income over the operating profit margin over the net sales. If the sales is 200, it means that 30% of the 200 is the operating profit or the operating income. Okay? So, that is, to simplify that formula, that is 60,000 over 350,000. So, we can now compute the return on investment using the first formula that I provide, no? So, the return on investment is 17.14%. I already rounded off to nearest two decimal places, no? Okay, that is 17.14%. How about, sir, if I'm going to use the second formula? Do we have the same result? Okay, let's see. Solution number 2, no? Okay, using the second formula, that is operating profit margin ratio, multiply the asset turnover. So, to compute that is 30% multiplied by 200 over 350. Take note, sales over asset is the asset turnover. Okay? So, 30% times 200, okay, over 350. To simplify that is 30% multiplied by 57.14%. If we're going to multiply 30% times 57.14%, it will have the same result, which is the ROI is equals to 17.14%. Question mo ngayon, sir, what is the importance of that return on investment? Okay, if you are the management accountant, how are you going to evaluate the particular responsibility center manager if that ROI is at 17.14%. Well, okay, we can conclude now. Therefore, the company's operation is good because the return on investment is above 0%. Tama po yun, no? It is above 0%. However, in real world, hindi lahat ng bagay that it's above 0% is good because meron pong sinasabi tayong mga target rates. Furthermore, better if it is beyond the target return on investment. For example, if the company is trying to target, no, for example, during the planning phase of the next accounting period, okay, you as a manager, you are required to target at around 15% return on investment on your particular area or division or segment. But then, 15% yung target pero naka-achieve ka ng 17.14%, obviously, the performance of yours is very, very good, extraordinary because you exceeded what is expected from you. Okay? Because they are expecting only or they want you to target only at 15%, but you exceeded at 15%. How about, sir, if it is below 15%? It is good, but if in the face of the administrators, you're not quite good because you did not achieve the target return on investment. Parang sasabihin lang yan that better you better do next time so that you can able to achieve higher than or at least you may achieve the target or beyond the target. Okay? Yun po yung interpretation natin and evaluation. Another indicator, if walang target, no, pwede po nating masabi that the company is having its income because it has a positive return on investment. Take note, this return on investment will be worthless if we cannot able to interpret this further. Remember, in management accounting, okay, in this particular subject, this is a strategic cost management subject. This is a combination of accounting and a management principle. So, if the accounting techniques that we prepared is not being communicated or interpreted, the figures that we compute is very worthless. Okay? So, for today, yun lang muna yung i-discuss natin kasi mahirap naman i-discuss ko lahat. Baka matapos tayo in 1 week unang unit pa lang. Okay? So, thank you and God bless. God bless. So, I am now open for questions.